All right. One second, guys. Let me send this out to everybody real quick. But pocket size. I haven't seen you in a minute. It is good to have you back.
Thank you, GM.
GM.
It's great to be back. How has it been?
It's been good. Same vibes, same time. It's funny. I think one of the first times I ever heard you speak on one of the spaces with us was just about a year ago.
That sounds about right. That was when I moved back to the States. I was down in Mexico at the time, and then I moved up for this nonprofit organization the Happy Goat Web3 project. And I flew up there to that farm and checked it out, and I was like, "Wow, this is crazy!" And I packed up and then moved up here.
Oh, that's awesome. Hey, by the way, if you were in the audience, you should come up here. I'm telling you, it is not as intimidating as it seems. It's just a fun, chill Friday vibe. So there's no real pressure on anything whatsoever. So if you want to come hang out, go ahead and I will bring you guys up here on that climber. Like, if you're sitting there and you're replying back with those emojis, I see no reason why not to put your voice up here as well. But that's just me. Um, Pocket size, tell me what all have you been up to over the past several weeks? Have you been pretty active in the space, or have you been, kind of as things have been a little bit more quiet, sideways, kind of just taking a step back?
I'm actually still doing this pretty much full time. I'm pretty quiet on Discord and Twitter at times, but I always kind of have been. I kind of just sit back. I am building within the Nouns ecosystem right now, actually, but it's a bit too soon to talk about it. But within the next couple of weeks, I'll talk more about that. And then I'm still doing the real estate stuff as well. So I'm working on an escrow right now. So I'm still doing that in Southern California. But yeah, as far as Web3 and crypto goes, that's still my passion. I'm not going anywhere. I know everyone was talking about people are gonna leave in the bear market, and I'm just like, I don't know where you fools are all going. Like, this is the fun times. Like, the real ones are still here, and I'm actually enjoying this time because I feel like it's just less spam, less hype, less just crazy. It feels toxic at times. People seem to be down with the vibes when numbers are down, but I kind of like what's left. I like that there's more focus again on community and art. So I don't know. I love it. This is my time.
I love that. I agree with you completely. I think I brought it up on my space that I was hosting yesterday too, where a lot of people do walk away whenever everything isn't up only and whenever it gets a little bit more boring. And especially whenever you see a lot of the areas that brought there are a bunch of niches right now that are struggling. The alt market is suffering compared to Bitcoin. The NFT market has been pretty down recently as well. There's been a lot of drama with a bunch of NFT influencers recently, with a bunch of these meme coins that they've been promoting that have been complete rug pulls. And it's just led to a lot of animosity within different communities. And there are a lot of people that are walking away because of that. And the thing I brought up is I really think this is the time where there's the most opportunity, right? Where there's the most hate in the air, where there's um, the most of these type of things that are happening, the type of conversations where everybody is getting bored, walking away, angry at whatever, something's not delivering on whatever they promised. That's where you have the most opportunity. It really is that simple. So, it's being able to survive these type of times. Like I love it because I know what's on the other side, right? Having a higher time frame conviction, I think, is what really is the most important thing in this space. And if you can manage to have that higher time frame belief, knowing what is going to come, then it really does present all of the stuff that we're seeing right now as a great opportunity.
Absolutely. Absolutely. This is why it's so exciting, and it's just wonderful also to see who's still here. Because I found during the bull market, especially towards the end, I mean, it was crazy. I mean, it was fun, but 100 discords and the Twitter, and you couldn't tell, right? Like it felt like there was money everywhere, and you couldn't tell the good from bad anymore, or it took so much time, and it was everyone's like, do your own research. And I would, but it wasn't an easy thing to do, right? It was just, you felt like you were missing out if you got half an hour of sleep. And now it just feels like it's almost like the market kind of washes out a lot of this all on its own. So it does a lot of the work for you. I'm like, I'm not going anywhere. And I feel like I'm closer with the projects and communities that are still standing than I have during the bull cycle because I was just spread too thin.
Amen. Ansel, welcome up to the stage. How are you doing today?
Hey, hi, dude. Yeah, doing pretty good. It's almost the end of the day for me. I'm in France. It's like almost 7 p.m. So doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's still relatively early over here. So, but that's the beautiful thing about these Twitter spaces. Is you capture everyone at every stage of the day across the world. It is a global community, and that's something I think really unique compared to a lot of other spaces. So, Ansel, tell me how are things right now on the Solana side of things?
It's actually going pretty good. Like I've been like full
Well, I guess
time.
you're kind of an ETH guy now with the gods, like, but I'm kind of curious on that dynamic too.
Yeah, yeah, no, no, you're right. I mean, I am invested in many blockchains from Cosmos to Solana to Ethereum to I'm not a single chain person, but no, I'm doing full time programming on Solana right now, and I actually work with a lot of NFT projects, and there is a lot of very interesting stuff coming out. So I would say that I agree 100% with everything that you guys said. It's for me like right now is the moment of opportunities in terms of like building cool stuff, even if you want to release them in a couple of months. Um, and yeah, it feels better right now because during the bull run, the thing is that you're out, even as a programmer, right? You just want to get to build some mint website. You want to be at the forefront all the time. You want to be getting some quick action. And right now in the bear, it's when you have like the team that are there to build, and you can take the time to build really cool products. I'm actually releasing a product in 2 hours, so that's exciting. And I think the bear market is a great moment to build and to be there.
Releasing a product in 2 hours. That's wild, man. How long have you been working on it for?
Actually, it was in like a public beta for the last I would say 2 to 3 months, and now we're releasing like the stage two of the public beta. And yeah, it's interesting. It's a kind of a raffle product that I built with an NFT collection that you might have heard about. Yeah, and it's coming out in the very near future.
That's exciting. So it's not an NFT project per se. It's just a raffle product that can be used in tandem with something like that.
Yeah, exactly. So it's actually an NFT project that minted a year ago, and I've been working with them for a year now. I'm more like I work on many projects. I'm not just working on one project, but they minted a year ago on Solana, and it's been a very interesting ride because it was a very low price mint, and you got a lot of value out of the ecosystem. So I think it's an interesting team project, and I think the holders are pretty happy. And we are building products. We try to build many different things and see if like something sticks, right? If a product is interesting enough for enough people to care about it. Um, and so yeah, so the last one that we're trying to build is this raffle system where only us are going to be putting prizes for now. But yeah, it's really exciting.
Well, I'm excited for you. It always feels good releasing something that you put a lot of work in out into the wild. So that's exciting stuff. You'll have to come back and update us next week how it all goes.
Yeah, sure. I mean, absolutely, man. I'd be happy to.
We got King Rooster up on the stage. What's up, man?
What up, everybody? What's up, Kaleo?
Oh, man, it's just another beautiful Friday. Can't complain. Pocket Size and I were talking earlier about how, I kind of enjoy these days where it still feels like, it just feels like there's so much pain that's undue right now on the Twitter feed, right? Like Bitcoin's at 29K. And the only reason that I feel like there should be as much pain and animosity as there is right now is because people are way too highly leveraged their portfolios into alts and other stuff. Like, the alts NFTs landscape is struggling a little bit more. But, Bitcoin's holding up well. The broader markets are holding up. There's a lot of opportunity.
I'm kind of confused. What do you mean? They're struggling to hold up from where? A week ago? Like, are you talking about?
Well, okay, versus Bitcoin, right? Yeah, so you're right. Like from a week ago, but you are seeing some general. There's a greater decay for alts versus BTC, but I mean, it's really like it's nothing too incredulous, right? Like it's nothing just insane as far as the. I don't know, man. Like I'm just trying to piece together why there isn't more excitement in the air than I feel like there deserves to be.
Because okay, here at least here's my thesis. Because personally, yeah, I don't see a reason for it either. I've been and I've had a few good wins recently as well. So I guess I don't have a reason to feel pain like other people might have. Who might have been bleeding for the past year, or at the very least, especially in NFT since Blur. I mean, the specific bags that I have picked for myself haven't really bled. Like, I mean, stonks are still up even like 3x on the year in ETH value, and probably a little bit more, 4 or 5 in USD value. So I mean, that's one, and then yeah, and we're up from like what 12. We're chopping at 1,200 ETH for a while. Now we're sitting at 1910 right now. So yeah, I agree that I mean there really shouldn't be much reason for it, but I think people they've been bleeding so long that they started trying to chase wins and so breaking out of a bear market strategy, and they just chopped themselves to pieces trying to chase wins, middle bell curving, buying the tops of things, chasing after PP when it hits 200 million market cap or whatever. Chasing other shit coins, trying to buy sub 10K market cap shit coins and just having no liquidity to even sell, and I think they're chasing wins and chopping what they did have left to zero, and they see everything. They're like, everything's going up, but my portfolio is going down. How is this possible? And I think that's where the angst and the anger comes from.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, you're right. Like basically, I think that kind of nails it. In a market that's not really just super hot as far as trending, because right now, yeah, like it relative to a lot of other things, it has been hot. There are a lot of, when you look on the annualized basis, there are a lot of wins that should be out there. But that makes sense where people are just chopping and looking for winners, because a lot of these different wins you have to be patient for. So I think there's a lot of FOMO when you're seeing a staggered climb with different things in the market. So whatever person's X bag is boring right now, so you go leave it for something else that's already topped out. And then that old bag starts moving and you end up kind of shaking yourself out via basically not having the patience. So I could see that. Rooster, what's your next trip that you got planned, man? What's the next thing on the schedule as far as are you doing any other big NFT events coming up this summer?
Well, I'm still I haven't decided yet. I'm thinking about going to Bitcoin Miami, just because Pandas say they're throwing the largest party ever that has happened for Bitcoin Miami. So that should be pretty interesting. But I haven't bought tickets yet. I kind of looked into it. I still haven't decided if I want to do that. Wasn't really planning on anything major for like the space, except for Art Basel, which is 100% right. And then Pandemonium is going to be around like September, sometime around then. So that's like 100% one. But other than that, I'm probably going to take more of like a personal vacations with the girlfriend rather than other NFT events.
I respect that, man. I mean, I'm kind of the same way. I just don't really even have the desire to go to Bitcoin Miami this year either. It's been like I've gone the past 2 years in a row, and it's been okay. Don't get me wrong. And hey, I'm not even going to talk it down. I think there's opportunity to go to these type of things when the
You just
market
don't
is
want to
down.
nuke the market. Yeah, I mean, you don't have to explain. Like, we know the reason. You
But
just don't want to nuke the market.
yeah, I really don't. I don't want that to mark the top.
Tell me you have a long position open without telling me you have a long position open.
This week has been a good week, and it's been at least an okay week. There have been some ups and downs, but I mean, dude, there could have been pure carnage had I decided to go to consensus. And I won't lie, I do have some FOMO going to consensus, and I thought about making the trip up there several times throughout the week. So, but yeah, I couldn't afford to do that to everyone. All right, we've got Ellis the elephant up here. Ellis, what's going on?
Yo, what up? What up? I was kind of coming up whenever Rooster said, "Are you going to the Panda party in Miami or no?"
Are you asking me or Kaleo?
You?
I haven't decided yet. I'm still on the fence because I already know I'm going to be hitting Pandemonium in Basel. I'm trying to properly allocate my time. Let me put it that way.
I know that there's still some pandas looking for like Airbnb groups and stuff, so I didn't know if you wanted to link up with some of them, but I'll be down there. So I was just curious if you were gonna go.
For sure, I'll hit you up if I do end up deciding to go.
But hey, Kaleo, so I got some boys together and we made like a little DAO and we're stacking stonks right now. So we're pretty hyped about that big sell that just happened.
Let's go. Well, a shout out to the man literally underneath you on my speaker stage, Lander himself, bringing it home, officially part of the Guppy gang. So, yeah, man, people are right now still stacking value, and dude, he's actually had some really solid steals the past month also. So one of the things that, for instance, I think the coolest thing about what happened in December, January about that test pump kind of showed you the market dynamics of how things move whenever the heat really starts to pick up a little bit. And one of the things that just doesn't get noticed quite as easily are some of the traits, right? As far as not the traits, but just the nicknames, right? That you've got as far as the price action. So, I think that he was able to pick up several 1%ers, basically at floor. And that's one of those things that you can't just scroll. I mean, you can actually. I think that you can pick up an eye for it. I can pick up an eye and I can name basically what any of those are just by looking at the price action. I can narrow it down pretty quickly. But it takes a little bit of time to be able to develop that skill. And those were some of the hottest items during that December, January run up. So I think right now, when everything's cooled off a little bit, because they don't necessarily have the super distinct visual aspect associated with them, and it's more of just a price action rarity, I think those are some of the hottest steals that are out there, and I've seen him stack several of those as well. And it's been pretty impressive, the treasure trove that he's been building up recently.
Yeah, there's also been a few ribbons that have just like circulated between a few wallets on the floor that are sitting like not too high above like the floor of the whole collection. And that was another thing that like popped off last bull market too. There's ribbons selling left and right for, close to one ETH, and even if quite a few over one ETH. Once those few get picked up, I think you'll see quite a big price difference between like ribbons and the rest of the stocks as well.
Yeah, but I mean, realistically, the crazy thing has been stonks have basically just been a stable coin right now in that like 0.13 to 0.15 ETH area, which, it's a lot different from what you brought up earlier, Rooster. Like last summer around this time, they were a stable coin in the 0.03 to 0.05 ETH area. So, and, it's just, it's the slow, steady grind. But I mean, I will say this too. I like looking at it, the overall floor for what's actually listed between here and, even like the 0.2 area. Dude, it's literally all it takes is one hot day in the NFT market and it easily reclaims that. That's the thing that people don't understand about NFTs. Even if the floor price is suppressed, I really feel like the average or the metric that should be considered more realistic for what the floor price of something is like what is the weighted average to get to certain prices, right? Because it's I don't know. Again, you're looking at it. It doesn't take much whenever this market starts to pick up for things to be able to move.
No, yeah, and also it's like the ugliest floor I've seen in a while. You can't get a wonky theme, below 0.18, 0.2. You're not going to find any decent ribbons below like 0.45, 0.4 area. You're not going to find like any, in my opinion, any of the rarer or nicer looking, more aesthetically pleasing stonks. Anywhere, honestly, 2 to 3x around floor. Once you start getting to the 0.4 area, 0.35, that's when like you're starting to get to the good stocks again. So yeah, it all it takes is one sweep. It's not that thick, but at the same time, like though none of those are my favorite stocks.
Yeah, man. But I mean, I don't think the market is in a position right now where, it's a fortunate position. Obviously, depending on how you view it, if you're somebody that's looking for a quick flip, then is it like the position that you want to be in? No. But that's the thing. I think that right now, the market has granted people the privilege to be able to be picky, right? That's the cool thing about this type of period where we're talking about opportunity. You have the opportunity to be patient, be picky, and to be able to look for those type of steals like what Lander's doing right now. Because again, when the market really starts to pick up, it did not take very much back in that mid-December through January timeframe for things to get really hot. And when they do, I mean, again, that was like a 1 month window looking at what happens whenever the stocks get hot. So again, just imagine what happens whenever we're back in a more extended, longer duration NFT bull market. I think that there are a lot of people that, the stocks are going to be around. It's not a question of will they die off by then. They will be around. So I think that there are a lot of people that are continuing to just get that name brand awareness of what they are, right?
Well,
Like,
yeah, and not even only that too. Like, I mean, you just compare around. Like, in my opinion, I don't even think they've had like a true pump. I think
no.
even the original, to 0.42s and stuff were micro pumps. I mean, look, we're not even pushing 3,000 ETH traded yet. I don't believe getting close to maybe. You got Nakamigos just did 31,000 in a month, right? That's 10x the volume stonks have done in like a year and a half. You got Pandas doing close to 20,000. You got PA did 28,000 Now they're close to floor price in stonks. You got sappy seals, high 28s, low 30s, sitting at like 0.5 something. So yeah, I mean, once they gain that like true momentum of traction, where you see the 10,000 ETH volume, sky's the limit.
For you know what it really looks like right now, just on the chart perspective, it looks like we're forming just a super long term cup and handle type thing, on the ETH chart, where like that's kind of what I'm looking at right now, at least. And hey, will it take, like, let's see, it's been from January through April for where we are now. Will it take another 4 or 5 months of just slowly climbing back toward those highs? Could it take 6? Could it take toward the end of the year? Maybe. Yeah, sure. But I just have kind of like what you're saying, just that the real confidence that whenever it does slowly work its way back up toward there, that's one of those things that you're right. It just hasn't had that insane pump. And obviously, there's no guarantee toward anything, in life. But I think the odds are there, just again, looking at it, where this summer, a huge difference from this summer to last summer, where this summer, I feel like the NFT market as a whole is in not as good of shape as it was last summer. I'm not saying that last summer it was just this incredible market, but I'd say as a whole, the NFT market is not where it was. And we've still sustained a lot higher than where we were. And on top of that, it's one of those things where I'm telling you, the number of people who are just aware of the stonks and who know a little bit more about the history, who know the name, who know everything else, like it has continued to grow significantly, like in the both the NFT and the crypto Twitter community. It's one of those things I really believe that whenever that movement starts, that they're primed to be one of the movers the next thing. And obviously I'm biased with it being my own project, but I think that the uniqueness, the unique history, and the fact that the the OG no roadmap type of project, that it's, I don't know, it's I'm not wavering on my belief in the stonks.
Yeah, we got a buddy that he does straight rare Pepe trading, and he was like, I gotta get in on the stonks. Like they're beautiful. I love them, and he's known about them for a while, but now he's finally gotten into them. And yeah, it's just I think that the transition is going to be great.
Yeah, I love that, man. So I'm curious, what else are you guys collecting in the little DAO that you have?
Right now, we just have rare Pepe trading cards, and then stonks, and then some chippy labs. That's pretty much all we have in it. Yeah, I don't think we're really going to branch out much more to other projects.
I respect that. Crow, I haven't heard your voice yet since you've been up on stage.
You're getting me all bullish over here. How's everybody doing?
Doing well, sir. Doing well.
I love to hear that. I want to get us off topic. I've been knocking doors for like 5 years. That's like been my main source of income. I know you knock doors in your times. I want to hear some of your door knocking stories if you don't mind. I just got back at it yesterday. It had been like a big lull. So I was hitting doors yesterday, and I want to hear some of your stories.
Dude, I did it for about, let's see, 5 or 6 months. So, it was just interesting dynamic doing it whenever I did, because it was right after COVID started. So I was going up, man, and just the different types of interactions that you'd get with people, where there'd be some people that wouldn't come up like right next to your face. There'd be other people that wouldn't talk to you unless you would like go to the street and shout to them. And the funny thing is, in my mind, I'm still thinking that if somebody, there would occasionally be the person that was so worried about COVID that you'd have to basically shout from the street to their front door, and you'd go through the whole sales pitch with them. And somehow they'd end up like, setting an appointment and end up being a buyer later on, where, you just never expected it. But there'd be other people that were like, I'm going to call the cops on you for trying to spread COVID. it just I'm trying to think of any like really good ones off the top of my head. It's gonna take me a second. I don't think I've got anything too crazy, honestly.
Tales from the Sidewalk's
Bro,
pretty good.
that literally reminds me of like, and it was shit. This was like a year and a half into COVID already. I had a maintenance guy in my townhome, and I didn't. It took me a second to realize what he was doing, but he was like fixing the dishwasher or whatever. And so I'd like come in the kitchen, and then he would walk over to the corner of my kitchen and like just put his face in the corner of the wall, and like that's how he was talking to me. And it took me like a couple sentences to realize like, oh, he's like doing this because of COVID, because it was a year and a half into it. It was like pretty much over at this point. It just had me cracking the fuck up.
Yeah, if you ask that, I know you've got to have a good one.
I don't know. I don't have one like right off the top of my head either. I mean, I would go to doors with like no soliciting signs and knock on that one first out of the neighborhood, and I've turned some of those people. But like you said, just the cast of characters that you encounter. It's a good study on people and humans, that's for sure.
Yeah, I think I only had the cops called on me once though. And the funny thing is, the cops even said, "Hey, you're not doing anything illegal, but we had to come out here, and okay, hope you have a nice day." And that was basically it. But I did have the cops call on me once.
Yeah, I've talked to the police too. I had a partner that was actually handcuffed for a minute, but it all got sorted out.
No, but outside of that, dude, I'd say that it was a really interesting dynamic. I think that the place that I was with, like down the road, the people there like could make some really good money, but in the position that I was in with them too at the very beginning, I was basically like the canvassing person. Then they'd have somebody come in and be the closer. And I was thinking to myself, man, if I were the closer, one, I think I would have closed so many more deals. But then two, I think that, well, no, I know for a fact they got the huge percentage of the commission versus the canvasser only got a fixed rate if the sale went through. And it was pure hell on that side of it, man. I was like, I'm way in your mind, you're thinking you're way overqualified for this, but they had like a minimum time of sweat equity that you had to put in as a canvasser. And at the same time, I'm thinking to myself, dude, I just want my job in engineering back so badly. Like, please, market pick up again. So it was just one of those tough things where, yeah, man. I mean, I don't know. It was a good times and bad times, and all at the end of the day building character.
That's cool, man. Thanks for sharing. I figured you'd be good at it and you would have had some success. I have like a completely different model. Like I market for myself, so I'm not involved in like the multi-sales, but I'm sure you would have killed it as a closer. No doubt in my mind.
But I will say, dude, it definitely does help build your confidence as far as just conversations with strangers in general. You have to have a different type of boldness to be able to do that. I'm not sure if you've noticed that, Crow.
I mean, it's like sales training 101. Like if you can knock doors, like you can sell anything. It really is. So for any young people, like get out there and hit some doors. For real.
No, it's true though, man. It's true. Wait, who just came up on stage? We got Puck coming up on stage. Puck, what's going on, man?
What's up, Coach? Just wondering what the hell you guys were selling door to door.
Bro, I was selling windows, so I'm not sure what Crow sells though. Crow's the master from the sounds.
I work for a utility company, so I'm promoting like a energy efficient program that I do. So I'm selling myself at the door.
Damn, selling yourself sounds interesting.
And actually, Puck, let me take that back. I wasn't selling windows. I was selling a better quality of life.
Very well done.
Yeah, you must have some great openers. Like, when you open the door and the person shows up, you need to be ready to get them, right?
That's true. Okay, so that's another key thing. Whenever you would knock on the door and whenever they'd open up, you never wanted, like, everything in my power for the first minute or at least like 30 seconds of the combo was to mention anything about what I was actually doing there. Right? Like, if you can get the person, my goal, if I could get a smile or a laugh in the first 30 seconds, then I knew that I could, like, go through and they'd hear me out through the rest of the pitch. Right? That was my whole thing. You got to start off with a compliment, with a joke, with something like that to be able to break the ice. And dude, I think it works like that with normal people, with any other type of interaction too. If you can start off with something like that, just breaking down whatever level of formality there is, you're going to earn the right to be heard.
Have you guys?
Yeah, that's right.
Have you guys ever seen the kid on YouTube who goes around like trying to clean people's windows? Who's like oversteps all of his boundaries and stuff? I've never hit anyone, but I am sure if that guy came up to my door, I'd punch him right in the mouth.
No, man, I don't think that I've seen this kid. So, but he's
I'll
just
tweet about it
cleaning
later.
windows for free.
No, he's trying to sell like his window cleaning service, but it's so cringeworthy and like he honestly just creeps people out a lot of the time.
Sounds like he's doing that for his YouTube fame.
Yeah, like I think he thinks he's like a really good salesman and he's got this YouTube channel going and it's just like really bad. Like he's going to get arrested.
I will say the thing that I hated the most about it was that Ring doorbells exist because I just sat there and thought to myself, I'm going to end up on YouTube one of these days. I'm going to end up in some neighborhood HOA thing. And, you could not, every time that you go up to a house, you better not even be caught scratching your butt while you're waiting on the people because, you're going to have somebody that decides that it's a good idea to post that.
That's the story I got for you. You reminded me. So I'm in like a mobile park home. And the guys, and I'm trying to do it through the Ring doorbell. Like I don't use them anymore. I just knock. But I'm speaking to this guy through it. He's in the house, and he's like, "Go away." And then I was like, I just kind of repeated my pitch. And he's like, "If I had to come out there," and I'm just like staring at the thing, like, "Huh?" I would have totally, because I told him to fuck himself as I'm walking away. Like, thank God he didn't record that or.
Bro, actually, dude, that is my best story now that I think about it. It wasn't through a Ring doorbell. There was a house that had a no soliciting sign. Like you said, I didn't realize it until I walked away, but I did the entire pitch and I booked it and it ended up selling. And I did the entire thing through like a metal mail slot that I had to kneel down because they wouldn't open their door. They were too afraid because of COVID. They didn't have a Ring doorbell camera to talk through or anything. I'm about to walk off and I just hear this voice coming out of the little metal mail slot that they have next to the front door that's about, hip level, waist level. So I had to kneel down, look through, like talk through the side, and somehow ended up setting everything with it through that mail slot. So that was my best one, I think.
Legend.
I'm gonna go sell stonks door to door tonight.
One stonk equals one retirement, right? Bro, imagine actually that would be the perfect asset class to diversify, or not asset class, but the perfect subset of the perfect niche to diversify into is just, older people looking for a retirement fund, looking for something different in the crypto space. If you can break into that niche, bro, you know that you've got a diamond-handed community member that is in it for the art.
They literally won't even know how to sell it.
Yeah.
Or list it.
That actually might not be a bad idea, Puck.
Imagine walking an 80-year-old through like setting up a wallet and getting started on OpenSea and stuff. You might have to book like a week or something at that house.
No, you just ask. You're like, how many retirements do you want to provide for your family? Because at the current market rate, one retirement is about $300. So with an investment of 10 Ethereum, which I'll explain in a minute, magic internet money, you can provide for 36 grandchildren one retirement.
All right, boom. We figured out our new sales method going forward. We're going to start going door to door, selling stonks to the people. And that is how we're going to diversify into the blue chips. It'll be the first blue chips where blue hairs are the primary community member. So, no, man, that is funny. Like it's fun reminiscing on those type of stories and experiences, though, Crow.
Yeah, thanks for sharing. You definitely gave me some alpha too. I was trying to get you going a little bit, just try to spike up a little more conversation before I dive into what I'm there for. So thank you.
No problem at all, sir. Thank you. Oh man, anything else going on this week, gentlemen? I guess end of April coming up here in a few days, but nothing else that I can think of outside of that. Month of May got here fast.
Is 40K still a magnet?
Yeah, man, 40K is still a magnet. So 40K is still a magnet. It's all still a magnet. We're still Gucci. It's going to happen.
Hey, you have it pointed in the right direction this time, right?
I think so, man. I think so.
Okay, cool. That's all I needed to know.
So we should be good. But yeah, one last shout out to Lander for that guppy snag earlier this morning. Exciting stuff. Wonky Stonks are inevitable. That's all you need to know.
Wonky Stonks are inevitable.
Let's do it. Holding since man. Let's go.
All right, y'all. Well, we will see you guys here next week. Same time, same place. Enjoy your weekends.